we interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you a special presentation of
Two Nerds, a podcast. Your home for everything movies, music, video games, and everything in between. With your hosts, Bunny the Bruiser, and Dynamite Jared Latching.
How's it going, everyone?
How's it going, everybody?
Oh, I see how it is. I see. How's it going, everyone? And welcome back to an episode of Two Nerds, a podcast. I'm
putting it. Is that supposed to be that big on there?
It usually doesn't show up like that, but that's okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
Welcome to this week's show, everyone. That was a very interesting intro there. So how you been, brother?
I've been all right. What has this show been doing for the past couple of weeks? I don't even know.
Well, so what day did you leave?
Not this last Sunday, but the Sunday before that.
Okay.
So I left. Here's it. Royal Rumble Sunday.
Royal Rumble Sunday.
Yes.
So the day before the Royal Rumble, we released our previously removed video of Cinderblock's interview. Mm-hmm. It has finally been cleared with the lawyers.
Okay.
Lincoln Logs. He says it's okay to post now.
Lincoln Logs.
All the clearances are there, and we may as well just address this on the air. There was a comment left on that video that was 100% blasphemous. Are you familiar with this comment?
A comment left on the Cinderblock?
Left on the Cinderblock video.
Like someone commented on it and
Correct.
said something?
Yes.
I don't remember the comment. What was it?
It says, "Don't tell anyone, but I think Buddy and Cinderblock are the same person."
Oh, that's absolutely not true at all. Or is it?
Or is it? We may never know.
We may not.
But needless to say, Cinderblock is pretty upset about this.
Yeah, he hasn't taken too kindly to this comment. There's no way that he is going to take being compared to a...
Jabroni.
No offense, buddy, but a wussy boy like you...
Okay.
He's not going to take that lying down. Now, we've contacted Cinderblock. We've assured him that this is not our fault. And so he said that our lives will be spared.
Yes.
But whoever left the comment, that's...
It's another story.
Yeah, he's looking for you as we speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the thing. And then last week, while you were on the tape hunt, we had a guest host with Steve from What's on the Shelf.
Oh, okay. So you just did it with him.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I see how it is.
Well, you were off on your mighty travels, and we couldn't leave the viewers out there hanging. So we talked about John Cena being cast as Duke Nukem, or the rumor that he may be cast as Duke Nukem.
Oh. Wasn't there already a... No, that was a Max Payne movie
Yeah, something like that.
of. Sorry.
So Jared is putting on some sort of Mardi Gras mask.
It's a New Year's mask.
A New Year's mask. Well, It looks like a Mardi Gras mask. The jewels on
I think
it.
this is one that Miria was wearing because it's too small.
Yeah.
Mi-chan.
Mi-chan.
All right. I think I'm ready to podcast
You
now.
think you're ready to... Now the mask is on? And the Stone Cold hat is once again placed on your head?
I have to
We good
hold
to
it
go?
up by the nose like this.
Yeah.
Hold on. Hey, feline! Remove yourself from that moldy box.
So the cat just jumped into a box full of tapes. And speaking of tapes, there's a lot of them in this room right now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I thought there were going to be a lot more than what's here.
Well,
But-
thanks. Well, when you go hunting with two other guys that are in business with each other, you kind of get the short end of the stick. It's kill or be killed on the VHS hunt, and when you're trying to find stuff, and then you got two other guys kind of working against you, they can check two different sections, and I can only check one at a time. So they're just picking stuff left and right. Also, I was trying to be kind of frugal. There was some stuff that I could have bought that I was just kind of like, no, I don't really need that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's going to be a lot less than this when I'm done reselling.
Right.
Yeah, so
So
I'm like pretty much I probably bought like maybe 200, 300 tapes, and at the end of the day, I'm probably only gonna keep like 9 of them, 10 of them.
9 or 10.
Which is disappointing to me that I was gone for 2 weeks or like a week and a half or whatever, and I'm only keeping so many. But there's stuff that I like, and I like that I was able to go out and find them myself. Body Beat, Hot Nights, Hot Music, and Hot Moves. All right, that's.
So this is one for sale, or is this one?
This one, I'm going to keep this one probably. Flashier than Flashdance, sexier than Dirty Dancing, and more fun than Fame.
Okay.
I have a hard time believing any of those statements is true.
Yeah. And what do we
Vibes with Jeff Goldblum. And so I just kind of saw Jeff Goldblum here and Cyndi Lauper. Wow, I didn't even notice her. There's Cyndi Lauper and Jeff Goldblum. So need I say even more after that? I don't know what this movie's about, but the cover looks kind of wacky. And I'm a huge Jeff Goldblum fan, and I am a Cyndi Lauper fan actually. So.
And then And then this is another one that you had sitting on the table here.
Yeah, this is Don't Open Till Christmas. So, as the title instructs, I will not be opening this movie until Christmas.
So, take us through this journey. Where'd you guys start out, and like what states did you go to on this particular trip?
Yeah, so we basically just did Florida, and like we hit one store in Alabama on our way back. But we were supposed to go to Florida and Texas, but the purchase of a sizable collection of movies kind of killed a lot of our time. And so we had to ship back like 20 boxes of movies, like on the second day of the whole trip.
Are any of those coming here, or are those all theirs?
They're all going there. No, I didn't ship any of mine because I didn't want to pay money to ship.
Right.
So that's we got held back there on time, and so we did not get to go to Texas like we planned because I have to go to work. I have to go back to work at some point. So we ended up coming back a few days early instead of driving 19 hours to Texas and then spending like 10 seconds there and then coming back here. So it was basically Florida. We pretty much covered the whole state of Florida.
Okay.
It was up and down, all over the goddamn place.
Did you see Street Mike while you were there?
Yeah, we stayed at his house.
Well, that's
yeah.
good.
So, Street Mike, if you still listen to this podcast, thanks for letting us crash at your place again, even though I thanked you a million times. And thanks to my dad, who probably doesn't listen to the podcast. He said he tried once, and it didn't work. Thank you for letting me crash at your place there. And thank you to Naib Estevan. I know you're not listening to this podcast, and you probably never will. Thank you for letting us crash at your spot.
Yeah.
Your very beautiful home.
Good shit. So the whole state of Florida, and were most of these like stores that had been closed down, or collections, or like what was the...
Most of them were stores that were closed down, and there were a couple collections. My cat's going ballistic right now. So a couple were collections. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but I'm going to anyways because nobody listens to this show. Let's see if I can get his last name here. It's like Joel Winecoop or something. His name's Joel. Yeah, Joel Wincoop or Winecoop. We went into his collection. I think that was like in the Orlando area or whatever, and we bought some stuff from him. That was, you know, a lot of like movies, shot on video movies that he actually starred in and stuff like that. But he also had other things.
And he was getting rid of his own movies?
Yeah.
Did he just have a bunch, or he was just like, get this out?
Was like his collection, but it was in like a storage locker.
Okay.
So like he was basically of the mindset that was like, okay, they're just kind of sitting here. So like if someone else wants them more than me, then I should just sell them. So, I mean, the only one that I got from him that was like absolutely insane was this is Killing Spree, which is on DVD now. But this is by the same director of Truth or Dare. And I don't know. I don't really know much about it, but this is what I got off him. Killing Spree and a bunch of other ones. But that's like probably the only one that I'm keeping from him. Thank you, Joel. I know you're not going to listen to this.
So what's the story behind this tape right here?
Okay.
Hollow Gate. Let's talk about this.
Hollow Gate. This is a shot on video. I think it's shot on video. It sure as fuck looked like it when I was watching it at Dan's house. But if it's not, it's shot on some other crappy format. Hollow Gate. So this is a movie that I watched a long time ago with my friend Dan Kinham. It was I'm just gonna open it because I'm gonna have to eventually anyways.
I'm sure this sounds lovely on the mic.
Yeah.
There you go. Get it right in there. There it goes.
There it is. This is a movie I watched forever ago with my friend Dan, and I really enjoyed it. It's funny and gory in some parts. It was just a fun like slasher movie. When Mark Walters throws a party, even Freddy and Jason wouldn't dare come.
Oh my. They're taking shots.
Yeah. So, this is a rare movie on tape, and I think that it only just recently got released on DVD. But City Lights is a really collectible release label and everything. This is a collectible tape. And I was going through at the last store we went to in Alabama. It was just an absolute shit show. They had probably over 10,000 tapes there. Almost none of them were in the boxes.
Okay.
So all the tapes are like, basically how they did their rentals was the empty cases on the shelf.
Right.
And then you would take that up to the counter.
And then
they have the number on the side. This isn't their number, actually, but like this, like this. And then they would find the tape number and give you the tape. And they would set the box there or whatever. But they weren't renting out these anymore. So a lot of these were just put into boxes in the middle of the store. They were just packing them away at this point. So we're literally dumping boxes on the ground and sifting through all the boxes and all the tape boxes and picking out what we want to get. And so then, we probably dug through probably about 5,000 tapes. And then the owner comes up and says, okay, well, we have more in the back that you can go through. So we go into the back, and it is just an absolute fucking disaster back there. Just, man, you name it. Fucking bugs, rat shit, mold on the ceiling. And it was the same deal. A lot of the tapes weren't in the boxes. And there's this office that they had tapes in, just thrown all over the fucking place. And they're like stacks back there, and there was just all kinds of shit on the ground that we had to like maneuver around.
Yeah.
And the office is probably like a 4x4 office.
Good.
It was all like a really tightly compact area. And so Dan was in there first, and he was going through some, and he just decided, he was like, I'm tapping out. I can't do this anymore. So I got in there, and I'm going through the stacks. And when I pulled one stack away and I could kind of see the sides of the tapes and I'm going down them, I see fucking Hollow Gate. And I was like, oh shit, I had my big reaction, and I grabbed the thing. The tape's not in the box. Fuck. But that's the next step. The rest of the day I'm just going to go ahead and say we spent 9 hours in this fucking store.
Okay.
Like, this was a legitimate 9-to-5 job, and we worked a little bit of overtime at this store. It was 10 to 6, really. Yeah. But we were there 10 to 7. So we had to look for all the tapes. Now, Hollow Gate was the one that I was most concerned with because I wanted it so bad. And so and it was one of the few like actual super rare things that I was able to
Keep for yourself.
snag away from the other guys. Man, I was in that closet for probably like 2 hours looking for this, and like when I came out and saw their stack of tapes that they had, I probably would have been much better served to like stay near them because
Yeah.
they found so much like great stuff that I was just like I was just, wow. I like was just like picking up things, just like, oh man, I found the box for Blood Freak. They had already found the tape for it. You know what I mean? So, like,
Yeah.
oh, that's ours. I was like, motherfucker. They didn't know where the box was, but they had the
Yeah.
tape. So, anyways, I'm back there and I'm looking through this room and I'm trying to find the tape for Hollow Gate. Now, the thing with this is that I was about to say is, I came out there and this did have a number like this on there.
Yeah.
And we found the number. We pulled it out. It was fucking Home Alone 2. And so
Okay.
the owner was like, oh, that means we replaced the tape. So, okay, does that mean you don't have it anymore? And she said yes. I didn't believe her. Like, so I went back and looked. And what I started to notice was that every tape that was in that office or kind of in that back area, the boxes and the tapes were all in that back area. Those were all tapes that had been replaced. So all I needed to do was dig through this fucking moldy ass office that's filled with rat shit and bugs and stuff, and I'll find the tape eventually. And so I'm looking everywhere, and I checked every single tape by like tape,
Yeah.
literally looking at the covers of like tape onlys,
Yeah.
and it wasn't in there. And I went into their desk drawer because I thought, okay, maybe they have some tapes hiding away in here.
Right.
They didn't. But what they did have in there
Was an actual rat.
was a live fucking rat
Good.
inside the desk drawer. I pulled it open and I was like, "Oh shit!" And I like slammed it. Scared the fucking shit out of me. I slammed the fucking like it turned its head and looked at me. And I fucking slammed it back in there. Not even 2 seconds after I slammed the door, a rat from the totally opposite side of the room runs past my feet, and I was like, "I'm in a fucking rat nest right now." And so yeah, that happened. I encountered a live rat when searching for tapes.
Damn.
And
2 live rats.
yeah, and so at the end of this all, I still hadn't found Hallgate, and so I got what tapes that I did find to match up to the boxes, you know, and I wasn't very happy with, you know, the results except for Midnight Intruders. That was kind of cool. But, oh, and I Spit on Your Grave big box, but I ended up trading that away anyways. But, I couldn't find Hollow Gate, and I was really disappointed, and I had looked as hard as I possibly could. And at the end of this, you know, we had made a big mess.
Yeah.
So the owners were like, okay, you got to pick this up now. And they were already closed. But they're sitting there, and I'm like, I had to rearrange everything now. And they kind of took a little bit of advantage of us and probably made us make things a little bit neater than
Then
they
they
were
actually were.
than they were before we got there. But whatever. I kind of used this time to dig through this other part of that back area that I didn't get to. So it's not in the office, but right next to the office was kind of like this pathway to like the breaker box that they had.
Okay.
And it was just filled with mold and tapes just laying everywhere. And like I said, I had already kind of figured out like this is the area where these tapes that were being replaced are being thrown, basically. And so as I was putting things back, I discovered a couple more boxes, and literally within like the last 10 minutes that I was there, I like flipped through this box really quick, found Hollow Gate.
There you
And
go.
like absolutely fucking lambasted with mold. But I was victorious and I found the fucking tape. And so I'm, as we speak right now, trying to repair the fucking thing.
Yeah.
And
So when you go to these places, like say for example, like you went to that place, all these places where it's just covered in piss and shit, and like they're all in the back. Like, how much are they charging you to take these tapes? Or they're just giving them to you, or what?
Buck a piece.
Buck a piece.
Buck a piece for these.
But you got to remove the rat shit yourself.
Yeah. And you got to clean up when you're done and make it nicer than it was.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a buck a piece for this. The one that I thought was funny that I actually got, this Hard Rock Nightmare app, which is not on DVD and which is a fun movie that I've seen before also with Dan.
The case is terrible.
The case is absolutely awful, but you would know, and I watched the beginning of it again this morning, and I was just immediately hooked. I was just like, man, I gave it 2.5 on Letterboxd.
You might have to bump that
I
up.
might have to bump it up because it's just a very, very entertaining piece of shit that is not on DVD. And had no mold. Plays perfectly.
There you go.
So, anyways, this guy has had his video store closed for fucking 7 years.
Okay.
With the tapes still just in the goddamn store. So, we get in there. We called the real estate agent because this store was on our list, but we get there, it's closed down. But you know, we can peek in, and when we peek in, we see, fuck, there's
the
tapes literally still everywhere. And now apparently some guy raided this place already and took all the horror. Nice try.
Hard Rock.
There was still a ton of fucking horror there. I think he basically bought all the horror big boxes, but there were some of just horror big box like onlys without the tape in there that he left behind that Dan and Tony got. So we called the real estate agent, and he's trying to sell the whole place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we're like, oh, we want to get in there and look at the tapes. Well, he wants to get the fucking tapes out of there too. So we get in there, and it's all cool. And, you know, we're thinking we're going to get in here and buy stuff for cheap or whatever. But then the real estate agent's like, yeah, well, you know, the owner, the former owner of the store or whatever, he wants to, you know, kind of see what you guys are taking, and, you know, he wants to get paid. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he gets there and he sees kind of what we're taking. He sees the empty big boxes that they have and everything, and a couple other ones, and he's like, yeah, you know, these are valuable. You know what I mean? He's talking about how he could sell these big boxes for $100 on eBay and everything.
Yeah, nice
and I'm
try.
just kind of like, without the tape, $10. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you'd make $10 on them, but it's like also trying to keep my mouth shut. So for Hard Rock Nightmare and approximately like 27 other tapes that I got from that store, $3 a piece for some shit that he had just rotting away in a store that he wasn't going to do anything with for the rest of his life because it had been in there for literally 7 years. It's a miracle that it wasn't covered in mold.
Right.
I think that they had the AC on still in there, which is why it survived.
So you got a little ripped off by that guy. But what was like...
Still a good deal though.
But what was
in the end? Because this is like,
yeah.
I'd say at least a $50 tape if I wanted to sell it.
Correct.
But I don't, because I love this movie and it's rare, and I need more rares in my collection.
Yeah. So was the $1 the best deal you got, or did you get like...
The best deal that I got is probably all in this box over here.
Okay.
And so, I think, let me look at it.
He's walking over to the box.
Let's see here. Oh, that's cut. Oh, no.
He's upset.
Yeah, this box right here. So, the best deal that I got...
He's making his way around. He's causing a ruckus with all these cables.
is Dan talked to a collector who was just trying to get rid of his whole fucking shit. And he basically was like, I'm going to give you my whole collection for free.
Okay.
So we get there, and Dan's going to get this whole collection for free. Nice try. I'm helping them go through the boxes and stuff to see what they actually want. Because the rest we're just going to donate to the Goodwill that's 2 blocks down. We ain't got room for all the kind of ratty shit that he had in there.
Yeah.
So, anyways, basically I just got a whole shit ton of tapes for free. And among them was this right here. Devilfish. And that Piranha 2 was amongst that lot as well.
That's a cut box.
But it was cut. And
like, you're just realizing it now.
I'm just realizing it now, so that sucks. But I guess that just means...
Explain for anyone who, like, what a cut box... Obviously it's cut, but, like, what does that look like, or what does that entail?
Alright, so a cut box is something
what does it do to the value?
It deteriorates the value greatly. Yeah, so a cut box is basically when a video store, they would get these tapes, and a lot of the time, with the boxes, they would cut them so that they could go into their own personal, like, small clamshells. And so all the tapes would be, like, the same size. And, like, well, the one that really just hurts my heart is when, like, a big box is cut to, like, a small clamshell like that, or any clamshell for that matter. And I don't know why they did this, because, you know, if anything, it just kind of added size to the to most of the slip cases. But a lot of video stores did it, and some did it in different ways. I would say that most of them would just cut like one of the spines and then like the top off so that they could slide it into the clamshell. But some of them will do the cut. They literally cut the cover off, cut the back off, and then they would just cut like one spine. So like it's 3 separate fucking pieces.
Jesus.
And then they would just put it all in a clam. I probably have 1 or 2 in there that I could show you of that. So yeah, the video stores would do shit like this. I know that we went to one on my first hunt that was a store that had 50,000 tapes.
Okay.
Almost 90% cut. And this motherfucker would go so far as to cut clamshells.
Okay.
Stuff that's already in a clamshell. It came like this. So like this that I'm showing you, and I can't really describe it, but okay, think of basically like Disney.
I was gonna say any Disney, how the boxes
that, like,
are.
Yeah, they're big in the plastic like opening cases like that. So think of that. And they literally took the paper insert out. I'm not even shitting you on this. And cut it smaller. And then put it back in the same fucking clamshell.
Well, what's the purpose?
There's no purpose. I literally wanted to walk over to that fucking store owner and punch him as fucking hard as I could. Because there was some really, really, really great fucking movies in there that were in clams like this that were cut for no reason whatsoever. Buddy, that makes me furious.
Maybe just for consistency with the rest of them.
No. That's bullshit. It's bullshit.
Damn.
That sucks. You want to see, like... I'm telling you what, man, like, a lot of the movies that I'm keeping look like absolute rat shit, and probably are absolute rat shit, but I'm keeping them just because of specific actors in them. Like, here we go. Check this out. Rob Lowe.
Okay.
Some bullshit Rob Lowe
Dead silence.
Thriller from probably, like, what, 1998 or some stupid shit.
I don't see a year on it.
Oh,
but...
man, let's see here. Let's slide her out here. Dead silent. No year. Man, I'm going to have to say 84 on this one.
You're going to have to say 84?
Yeah.
Well, a quick IMDb search will tell us.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to say like 98. Hopefully. Hopefully it's not like early 2000s. Let's see here.
99?
99.
Is this the one with Rob Lowe?
Yeah, there's Rob Lowe. I can see him right on the cover.
99.
99. So I was off by a year. So, I mean, there's this that I got specifically because Rob Lowe. And I love Rob Lowe. And then you may notice a pattern here about like actors that I seek out because there's Rob Lowe.
Jeff
And then
Goldblum.
here's another one. Well, these are the two that are connected, like
Okay.
for a very specific reason. And here you go. Christopher Walken.
Okay.
So I kind of collect Rob Lowe and Christopher Walken movies, no matter how bad. Like this one just looks absolutely terrible.
The Eternal.
Kiss of the Mummy.
The Eternal Kiss of the Mummy. Okay.
Yeah. So, but what I've kind of realized is what's funny about collecting these two actors is who's the villain in Wayne's World 1?
Your boy.
Rob
Your
Lowe.
boy Robert. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Mr.
Who's the villain in Wayne's World 2?
Walken.
Christopher Walken. I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not. I think that I just was kind of like a Rob Lowe fan from,
Years past.
yeah, just kind of like, I mean, I'm a Walken fan for obvious reasons.
Yeah, who isn't?
Like, Christopher Walken is just absolutely great. And Rob Lowe, it was kind of like the Parks and Rec thing that really put it over the top in Wayne's World. And then, like, it was kind of like after I, like, kind of realized that I was collecting both of them that I was
Yeah.
like, oh, Wayne's World 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So,
Kind of going off topic a little bit, but it has to do with Christopher Walken. And since we normally talk about current events and we don't really have much to talk about this week, did you notice that they're reopening the Natalie Wood murder case or whatever that Christopher Walken was somewhat involved in?
like, he was a
Do
suspect?
you know what I'm talking about? I don't know if he was a suspect, but he was there when it went down.
Like, when she got killed?
Do you know about it?
No.
Okay, so Natalie Wood was in a movie with Walken.
Yeah.
And they got close, quote unquote. And her husband at the time, whose name's escaping me, who's the primary suspect, the three of them were on their private boat or whatever. And they were just hanging out. I guess there was like a fight between a few of them because like Walken was like trying to move in on his wife or something. But eventually, like later that night or whatever, she was found dead in the water. So they don't know if like who killed her or if she fell in the water herself in the middle of the night because they were drinking or what happened. But the case has been closed for a while and they just reopened it a couple weeks ago, I believe. I don't think Walken's a suspect, but he was one of the 4 people that were there. The other person being the what's his name, the captain of the boat or whatever.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that's crazy, and hopefully Christopher Walken doesn't become a suspect.
I don't think he's a suspect. I think Robert Wagner was the husband. He's the
chief suspect.
He's the chief suspect. He was a big TV star in the 60s.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's the Walken news of the week.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, any more questions, buddy, about how a VHS hunt goes down, basically?
No, I was just wondering. And so what? So you went over a couple.
So you do have more questions.
Well, no. I mean, what else were you gonna talk? So
Yeah.
you went over some of like the good ones you got, but what are some other good ones that you got in these boxes? Or
Well, I
anything?
might have to go in there and dig a little bit.
Just off the top of your head.
I can't remember any, so
Did you
here.
get- did you get
I mean, this is all stuff that I'm keeping right here. So here's Snake Eater 1 and 2, which they're not crazy or anything, but the movies apparently are crazy.
Describe to me the cover of that one.
Okay, so
Snake Eater, the original.
So Snake Eater original, I guess we have Lorenzo Lamas here, who's an action star that probably no one's ever heard of. And Buddy thought he was shirtless, but he's wearing like some sort of tank top.
Yeah,
looks
I
like maybe
see.
some overalls.
It's in the shadows here, but yeah, that looks like an overall.
I hope to God it's overalls. And he's kind of flexing, showing his little tattoo here, and he's got a gun in his hand. I mean, that's basically the cover. The tagline is as Dirty Harry and as dangerous as Deliverance.
Oh my.
And then we got Snake Eater 2, the Drug Buster, which I don't even know what to say
Yeah.
about this one. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. It's Lorenzo Lamas again with an African American gentleman.
Yeah.
What the hell?
The cat just flew through the air onto the window.
Yeah. So,
Were there any tapes that you found that you wanted to get, but the guy was trying to rip you off? Or, like, did you see anything that you wanted, but
oh yeah, absolutely. Not at like any stores or anything, because usually, like, no matter what, they're not going to like individually price. They will just be like, okay, $3 a tape, $5 a tape, whatever. So, this guy, we went to this guy's collection in Jacksonville, Florida, and I don't think he was trying to rip me off because he's a collector, and so he obviously wanted to get paid for the stuff. But there were definitely tapes in his collection that I wanted to buy. A lot of like shot on video stuff and everything.
Yeah.
That when I asked him, he was either like, "Oh, I don't want to sell this," or, this is $20 or $30. And I was like not prepared to spend that much on a single tape while on a hunt. So, I got this Frankenstein Elvira big box off of him. And basically how I kind of finessed it is he had a box of stuff that he had for sale already. He was doing flea markets. I kind of picked through it, grabbed like what horror was in there. Like I think Ghoulies and stuff was in there and a couple other ones and like maybe a couple action movies that were in there. And Tony, I probably had like 7 movies or whatever. Tony was like, "Oh, these are all Goodwill tapes." And like these 2 are like okay, I'd say $15 for the whole lot. And so I was like, "Ugh, okay, whatever." Because basically what I was gonna do is flip everything in that lot, and make my money back. But now that I'm buying all these movies, I could be like, "Hey, I'm holding this whole stack for 15. Will you give me that and this movie for this much?"
Right.
Okay. So I brought him the Elvira big box. "How much do you want for this?" $20. I was like, "Okay." So that would be 35 altogether. I took him my stack and with the Elvira big box, and I was like, "You are going to charge me 15 for this stack. And so if I get that and the Elvira big box, will you do 25 for everything?" He's like, "Okay, yeah." So I basically got the Elvira big box for $10 is how I like to think about it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was the only place where stuff like that like really went down. Like all the other collectors were either totally like bought by Dan already, or I didn't want to ask them for a price on some of their stuff because either it was like too stupid to ask a price for, or it was too good. Like this one collector, he had Lunch Meat big box. That's like a fucking $100+ tape.
Yeah.
And I wanted it, but I wasn't gonna ask him because he was. First off, he already said how special it was, and secondly, I just wasn't going to, be like when he was like, "Oh, 200." I just knew it was coming, so I just didn't even bother asking.
Right.
The rest of his stuff was just too dumb to even ask about. There was stuff in there definitely that I could have used, would have watched, would have kept, but not worth the price that he probably would have asked from me.
Did you find any Godzillas?
Yeah.
How many?
I only bought one.
So that one right there.
Where's it at?
The sea monster underneath the grave with the waves. I crave the waves under that big, literally right here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Godzilla versus the sea monster. Every other Godzilla that I found was something that I already had, and I probably already have Godzilla versus the sea monster as well, but not with this cover, which is just an absolutely awesome cover. Video Treasures is a label that is not very collectible because they're so common. But Jesus fucking Christ, I love Video Treasures because their artwork is always fucking off the chain, like on all their tapes. I think that they do original artwork for pretty much everything they release, and like it's always like really cool looking. Like I have that Stepsisters tape over there that's Video Treasures that has like that cool artwork too. I don't know why I'm keeping this
in the box,
in the plastic, because it's not valuable or anything.
How many of the Godzillas do you have?
I have quite a few, but I don't have the whole series. Obviously.
I'm trying to fill out my whole series. That's why I asked. But
well,
I think I'm missing 10 of them out of the.
Some of them aren't released on VHS because.
Well, that's not the newer ones, but I'm talking like the end. Destroya is the last one, really.
Well.
Besides Godzilla 2000.
Yeah, Godzilla 2000 is definitely out. And I feel like maybe even like Tokyo SOS and stuff like that. What I'm talking about is that like I know for a fact that Final Wars is probably not on VHS, and obviously 2014.
Yeah.
And you know, fucking
Shin Godzilla.
Shin Godzilla. Ugh. I did not like that one.
Yeah. You didn't? I thought you liked parts of it.
Obviously, I like the parts when Godzilla's fucking shit up.
Yeah.
Do I like the parts that are pretty much 99.9% of the movie where he's frozen in the middle of the city and people are just talking?
Or a slug.
and the rest of the movie is just them like fucking trying to battle bureaucracy to fucking take out Godzilla?
Yeah.
No, I didn't like any of that. If it would have just been all fucking Godzilla versus fucking laser beams, then it'd be cool. Man, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. Good shit. But yeah, I think I'm missing like 10 of the...
Do you know which ones you're missing?
The first two... I have a list actually at home, but I know I'm missing...
I feel like you're missing Space Godzilla?
Missing Space Godzilla for sure.
Yeah.
Destroya.
I don't know if Space Godzilla ever got like an official English release on tape.
Really?
I don't know. I have a Japanese tape, like a Japanese bootleg tape of it.
I'm missing Godzilla Raids Again. I'm missing the first Mechagodzilla. I have Terror. I don't have Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla.
It's got to be on tape because I have Godzilla versus Destroya official English release.
The Space Godzilla.
It's before that.
Yeah, there's like 2 movies before that.
Yeah.
I want to say I'm missing Gigan and a couple others from the...
There's no way you're missing Gigan. That one is so common.
I have like 3 copies of Megalon, but I don't have any Gigan.
Ugh. I have a Godzilla versus Megalon in a clam.
Do you?
Like the cover is just so awesome. Like it looks so much like a kid's movie, but like it's just cool because I mean you know that I like the drawn artwork.
Yeah.
Like not like the photo artwork.
Right.
Like that's why I like the Video Treasures so much because it's always like these like I don't know what you'd call this, airbrush or just painting. I'm not sure, but it's just cool. It's always really easy on my eyes. Like even Slaughterhouse Rock has it.
Right.
Like that's fucking cool to me. Devilfish. Now this one, that's just awesome. Probably absolute terrible shit movie, but that cover art, that's awesome. Don't open till Christmas. Great cover art. That's what I really like.
Some people say don't judge a book by its cover, but for tapes, judge it by the cover, for sure.
For tapes, buy them for the cover art. Never put them in your VCR. The story still holds true. Don't judge it by its cover. This is going to be terrible. Midnight Intruders, I love that cover art. And I mean, it's not hard to impress me, honestly. Just have drawn cover art.
Yeah. And
I'm cool because, like, look at this. This is literally fucking nothing.
The cover kind of reminds me of The Last Slumber Party.
Does it? I thought the
Well,
last
well,
slumber
not the
party.
not the cover art, but I'm saying when I look at this, I think of the movie Last Slumber because he comes in through the window.
Oh yeah, with the ladder.
Yeah.
And let me tell you though, last slumber party, actually good.
Actually good.
Actually good. So, it's good in a funny way, and it's also good in like kind of like an art house way, like sort of.
How?
It's so weird. It's weird as fuck.
What were the other ones we were watching? I think in the past like 6 months we watched 2 movies on VHS where we were like that was actually good. Popcorn and what was Psycho Cop 2. Fucking phenomenal.
I got a copy of Popcorn out of that free lot.
Did you?
Yeah. Psycho Cop 2, I wish I could get the unedited release.
Yeah.
Which is in Canada on tape.
Yeah.
Obviously, I could get the Blu-ray uncut.
Yeah.
And it would be fine, but I would like the uncut tape. I think even the box art is better.
Well, hey, you might have to go on a trip to Canada. Okay, so here's either debunk this rumor or tell me it's true. I heard in the tape group that this was the final hunt. Is that true?
No.
No.
Maybe for me, because I have a real job. And so, I have and a girlfriend that doesn't like having me away from home. Is I have more obstacles to clear to get on these tape hunts, like saving money and everything. Like basically, Tony and Dan fund their tape hunts with the tapes that they get.
Yeah.
And then like they pick out like the couple that they actually want for their collections. Let me say this: if anyone in the tape group ever listens to this, which you probably won't, but there's this kind of stigma going around that Dan and Tony are just resellers, and I will say that probably maybe applies to Tony, but it definitely does not apply to Dan. He does have a collection. It's just so fucking impressive that literally all the shit that you see him selling you, he already fucking has. So, like, he basically has most of this shit, or, like, he legitimately just doesn't want it because the tape doesn't interest him. But I'd say that 90% of the time, if it's, like, a big box or something that he's selling you, that he definitely has it. He has the rarest, like, shit that I've ever seen in my life. So, like, he has, like, a copy of Tales of the Quadad Zone that, like, I think that only, like, 2 other people in the world, like, have.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... and they just bought a tape off of that Joel guy that's literally one of a kind.
Yeah.
It was like a one of a kind promo release of Twisted Illusions or something. So
interesting.
Yeah. So, and I think he's trying to get that into his collection too, but he's probably going to have to pay Tony a handsome penny for it. Yeah.
Damn.
So, we didn't get to Texas.
Did not get, so Texas is still an option.
Yeah, so like they might go back to Texas. And then shit always pops up too. I think they said they want to hit California again as well. But I think that one's more for collectors. Like they want to go to the California collectors' houses and
I see.
kind of go through their collections and buy stuff from them. So, we'll see if I'm on it again or not. But they're definitely not done.
Okay. So the rumors are untrue.
Yeah, the rumors have been put to rest. This was supposed to be the final hunt, but it's not.
Was it the most fun hunt? Because he said, oh, this was the most fun or the second most fun or whatever.
I don't know if it was the funnest for them. I think that this hunt was probably more fun for me than our first hunt was. Because I spent the first half of the first hunt just kind of in an awkward situation. I didn't know Tony at all. And, like, I knew Dan, but just, like, I don't know, just something different about spending, you know, like a week on the road with them.
Right.
And, like, him and Tony are just talking tapes the whole time. And I just kind of sat there with my headphones in a lot of the time. This time, I went and we were all totally familiar with each other. And we'd have all been really good friends for probably ever since I'd been friends with Dan, but like me and Tony became good friends probably like that first hunt, and now all three of us have just been hanging out for years now, and so we've all been friends, and it was more fun because there were more talks in the car, more conversations. I think what they were saying was it was the best hunt ever because they got the most and the best shit ever to resell with that. Basically, they hit the gold right there on that first collection. Yeah. We went through another one where we found Necromantic. The guy used to be a video store, and he closed down, and he was now trying to sell his whole collection for like $5,000. And there wasn't enough good stuff there to pay that much, so we went there and picked through it. He had left his shit outside in Florida, so it was growing mold at a pretty quick rate. And we were like lifting the boxes, and underneath one of the boxes was just a smashed like salamander, I want to say.
Oh my god!
It was just crushed.
There are so many lizards in Florida that just they're like our squirrels basically. They're just everywhere.
Yeah, so it was a crushed lizard basically.
I hope Emily never listens to this podcast.
He was crushed, totally fucking done for, just absolutely smashed. And like I picked him up by the tail and was just like, oh, gone.
Terrible.
Yeah, so, and I mean, like, Dan and Tony, like, see, they got that first collection. They were, like, 1,300 tapes ahead of me already. So that's why they have so much more than me. And then that collection right there, the Smashed Lizard and everything, that was also theirs because they found it on eBay. So they, like, laid claim to it. But I got a tape for helping them sift through all of it, which was that pledge night. That's in there. So, I mean, they got more tapes than me by a long shot. And, you know, obviously when we get into the video stores, it's 2 against 1 there. So, you know, I came out with the short end of the stick, but I still got some stuff that I really like. And, that's what it's all about, I guess.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. And I paid prices for them that
were reasonable. For the most part.
Wasn't me going to Dan and Tony and being like, all right, $30, here you go.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Cool. That's about it.
I guess so, yeah. Should we do a poll?
Oh, yeah. We did have someone on Twitter suggest we talk about 2 things this week.
Okay.
So we will talk to them, and one of them can be our poll, okay?
All right.
So, from Twitter, we have been requested to talk about Batman and soup. So...
Batman and soup?
Batman and soup. So
like Batman and the bowl of soup? Or Batman and Superman?
No, Batman and soup.
Like soup that you eat.
That's how the tweet was phrased. Soup that you eat.
Batman and soup. Who's tweeted this at us?
I don't recall. It was on Twitter.
It seems like an Aubrey question.
It was not an Aubrey question, but I figured we'll talk briefly about Batman, and our poll will be what our favorite kind of soup is.
Okay, so what do we want to say about Batman? Ben Affleck, I guess, is getting recast.
Well, everyone's seen the meme of him where it's just the slow zoom on his face in that interview with Henry Cavill when he's just like talking and he's sitting there all depressed.
I think it sucks because I don't think he was a bad Batman. I thought he was fine. It was good. But a lot of people, I guess, since they didn't like the movies, and now they're talking about like kind of like reevaluating the franchises. And I was really interested to see that the solo Batman movie with Ben Affleck.
Right. He wasn't a bad choice for Batman.
I've
seen worse.
Who was the worst?
I mean, in the modern, I don't know. Like, obviously the serial guys weren't good as Batman because Batman wasn't really developed. But out of like the modern ones, I'd probably say Val Kilmer was probably the worst.
Yeah, you think he was worse than George Clooney?
George Clooney wasn't a bad Batman. He was just in a horrible Batman movie where he was given a shit script. I think if you put George Clooney in the Batman role in a good movie, it'd be good.
I think he's got too much gray on his head to be Bruce Wayne.
Nowadays, probably, but back then...
What color was his hair back then? I swear to God, it was still gray.
I think he had the salt and pepper thing going on.
So, I mean... Oh, man. But do you like Batman and Robin? Like, as just
it's a good comedy. I mean,
yeah,
it's a
that's
Batman
what I mean.
movie.
Like,
though.
I get shit sometimes when I'm like, dude... The movie's entertaining as fuck. Like, it's entertaining as all hell.
Yeah.
You can't sit there and tell me that you watch Batman and Robin without laughing.
No, you're laughing the whole time.
Yeah, it's great. That's a fun movie. Do I think it's a good Batman movie?
No.
No, it's not a good movie at all. But as a person that loves bad movies, I feel like I'm doing myself a disservice by saying that I don't enjoy watching Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good shit.
Plus, there's a way to look at it, too. Because I don't understand the concept of someone liking the 60s Adam West Batman, but not liking Batman and Robin.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me, because, I mean, it's as cartoony as... They're both on the same level.
That was kind of like
that was the idea of it, to throw back to
yeah, it
the
was
older
supposed to be like campy. The problem with it was, I think that maybe this kind of off-putting is that it's still mixed with that kind of gothic mood of like the
first two
of the
Tim Burton
ones.
Yeah.
And like so like on your eyes it's like okay, Tim Burton. But the actual action on the screen is totally Adam West.
Yeah.
It's not a problem for me as someone that appreciates camp and stuff like that, but
yeah,
it was a problem for a lot of people, I guess. So
it's not the Batman they were looking for.
No, it's not.
But yeah, let's talk some soup.
Soup. This is gonna be tough for me, man, because I like soup.
I like soup a lot, actually.
Soup is awesome. Like
Emily gives me shit all the time. She's like, "Oh, why are you eating soup all the time?" It's fucking. It's.
Soup is great.
Yeah.
All right. You know what I like to do at work, because it's like the only healthy soup left, and I'm trying to eat a little bit better, despite the Compadres Express that we just had.
Yeah.
That was basically like my last supper.
Yeah.
And like I regret it still to this moment, because I feel like absolute fucking donkey balls right now.
And you had liquid shit.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that had anything to do with it.
I think that was from the Mexican I had a few days ago. But actually, it was probably from the Sonny's barbecue I was telling you about.
Yeah.
I do the minestrone that we have at work. Yeah. So I'm totally vegetarian. But I don't know if you guys do this, but if you ever tried it, you should try it.
So
It works basically. Yeah, like a suggestion. It's basically a way to add a little bit of quality. Pretty much, I have yet to have a soup that this did not become better by doing. Crush red peppers in your soup, dude.
I feel as if we've had the conversation before that crushed red pepper on anything makes it better.
Yeah.
Except for maybe like ice cream or something.
Yeah, obviously not
Yeah.
an ice cream. But anything with sort of a savory flavor,
Yeah.
like you throw crushed red peppers on it, and it's just like better.
Yeah.
And it never takes away from the original flavor of the
Of whatever you're
of
having.
whatever
it just
you're
adds,
having.
It adds
just
another layer.
It just
Yeah.
adds a spicy layer to it all.
Yeah.
So I always put crushed red pepper in my soup. That includes fucking tomato soup with my grilled cheese. I'm smacking the fucking crushed red peppers in there, man. I will eat a tomato soup right now without grilled cheese
Just for the red.
with the red peppers in it, man. And it won't fill me because it's basically fucking liquid.
Yeah.
But goddamn, will it taste fucking good.
Yeah.
That's how I'm gonna wake up in the morning from now on. Instead of a hot cup of coffee, I'm gonna have a
Hot
hot cup of spicy tomato soup.
Interesting.
But I'll take the red peppers and put it in the minestrone at work, and then man, that's great. But I don't believe that's my top soup, buddy.
Yeah. What do you think is what are some other, not necessarily your favorites, but what are some other soups that you enjoy?
I don't think anyone should shortchange ramen noodles.
I was going to say, like, people don't think of that. I personally don't eat ramen noodles as a soup. I take the water out.
I always have my broth.
But I know a lot of people that like it with the broth.
I'm brothy as fuck, bro.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to like an actual ramen place?
I've been to a pho place, but not a ramen specific. Like, I've had, like, the ones with, like, that's mainly the meat focus, but not, like, the noodle focused ones.
You gotta go to, like a dope-ass, like, real, like, ramen place.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'd probably be able to find one in Cleveland.
I'm sure.
Actually, there is one in Cleveland, but I thought, personally, when I was there, that it wasn't that strong.
Okay.
The strongest ramen places I've ate at was in California. There's a place in San Luis Obispo that was just fucking unbelievable. And then there's a place in Chicago that me and Michan went to that was just out of bounds, bro. Out of bounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic. You gotta get it, man. They throw the fucking egg in there and shit, dude. Oh, it's so goddamn good. And Michan makes a mean bowl of ramen too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what she made that one time when I was over, was that a pho or was that ramen?
That was ramen.
That was ramen?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was like, I think she kind of messed that bowl up. Because it wasn't.
I mean, it was still good.
It wasn't as good as it usually was. It wasn't. I think she watered down the broth a little too much on that one. So,
Yeah.
whatever.
So what one is your favorite? If you had to pick.
Buddy, have you ever had hot and sour soup?
I have had hot and sour soup.
I fucking love hot and sour soup.
That's
dude.
your pick?
I think that might be my pick.
So that's your favorite, even out of the Asian style soups. You enjoy that better than the wonton soups.
I definitely like it better than wonton. Yes.
So hot and sour.
I think that it's not the popular choice. I think you could easily defeat me by doing like a potato or a cheddar broccoli soup, which
Both
are
solid picks, but
those
not
are
my pick.
Solid picks. I like both of those soups, but yeah, and I think that those are popular picks too.
Those are popular
I
picks.
think that those would definitely win out.
Yeah.
Over most things, but I'm going with my gut here.
Hot
And
sour.
when we
You gotta
talk
stick with your
soup,
heart.
like hot and sour is what pops up in my head.
Yeah.
Fuck, I want some hot and sour soup now.
See,
Miso soup is really good. Have you had miso soup?
I've had miso soup.
Yeah.
There's a place in Columbus. It's not like high quality. It's called Bibimbap, and it's basically like Los Express or Chipotle, but it's Asian food. And there's free miso soup when you go there. And it's not like high quality miso soup or anything, but it's free. So.
Therefore, it's good.
Yeah. Good shit. So yeah, some of my honorable mentions. Just good old fashioned chicken noodle. I enjoy.
Okay, yeah, you can't go wrong with the classic.
Just like vegetable beef, I like.
Yeah.
But I'm saying my personal favorite. You stuck with your heritage and chose the hot and sour soup because you're clearly very Asian.
Yeah.
I will stick with my heritage.
As hinted by my copy of No Retreat, No Surrender 3. God, look at this gang here. Like, did you watch the first one yet?
No.
Jesus Christ, buddy. I don't know if it's available on YouTube or whatever, man, but you need to watch the original No Retreat, No Surrender. Do you like Van Damme?
You've never watched a Van Damme movie with me.
But have you ever watched a Van Damme?
I've seen like the original Street Fighter, and saw him when he was in Friends, but I haven't seen that many Van Dammes.
So you haven't seen Bloodsport or Kickboxer?
No.
Oh my lord. Boy, let me tell you right now. Okay. Our poll should be top Van Damme, honestly, but you don't have one. Maybe we'll do top Van Damme after you fucking go home and do some homework here, okay? Bloodsport is must watch. Kickboxer is must watch. Okay? Time Cop, must watch. Hard Target, must watch. Fucking dude, I'm probably there's so many good ones that it's just like hard to remember. But
I've got like two.
Literally, probably, the movie just fucking blew me away. And Van Damme is not even the main character of the movie. He's actually the villain in No Retreat, No Surrender 1. Okay, but he is literally perfect in that movie, and the rest of the movie is just so fucking insane that it's like just earned a spot in my heart as like one of the fucking best movies ever.
Yeah.
It's so
See,
fucking
I know
good.
for sure I have 2 Van Damme movies on VHS, but I'm gonna have to check and see what ones they are. But no, I've not seen any Van Damme movies really.
Yeah, so I mean, like, you got to start out with the basic choices. I mean, Hard Target. I mean, no, Bloodsport and Kickboxer.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that are basically, it's universally agreed on. These movies are awesome. Like, everyone likes Bloodsport and Kickboxer. And then there's Hard Target, which is directed by John Woo.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So, I mean, like, you can't go wrong with that. He's a fucking really good action director, and he punches a snake in that movie.
Punches a snake?
You never seen that GIF?
Maybe.
He's like, he like grabs like a fucking like pit viper, and it's like hissing at him and shit, and he's wah!
Jeez.
Just knocks it the fuck out.
Damn.
Okay, and so that movie's hard as nails. Hard Target. And then Time Cop is that's just a whole lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then No Retreat, No Surrender, just absolutely amazing. And then we'll go with some of the okay ones that are still worth a watch. Double Team with Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
You need to watch that.
I've seen an in-depth analysis of that film, but I've not seen it.
That movie would be a 10 out of 10 for me if it just took out this one like 20-minute section of it, where since you've seen the in-depth analysis, when he's like on like the secret agent island, or whatever, that part just totally sucks. And then the rest of the movie, fucking Dennis Rodman like surviving an explosion with like a Coke machine. Van Damme fighting a tiger.
So here's how it goes down, and this will cap off our Van Damme thing, because there's no way you can top this Van Damme moment. The villain is standing on a mine in the middle of a coliseum, waiting to be attacked by a tiger. Van Damme, a baby, I think, and Dennis Rodman are running down the coliseum. The tiger lunges at the villain, who then lets the landmine go. It explodes both of them, the tiger and the villain, to pieces. The explosion of flame and debris are coming down this hallway, and their only salvation in this coliseum is a Coke machine that happens to be there. Rodman shields themselves with the Coke. So Coke's the only way you can survive.
This is the supreme, ultimate fucking product placement in a movie. Never before has product placement been executed to such perfection.
I don't think it ever will again.
In motion picture, and it never will again. You're damn right about that. If it had happened before, it sure as fuck isn't going to that level again. I think that's when product placement peaked. Was at that moment.
Yeah.
And then because there are some good product placement moments, like in Wayne's World.
Yeah, the whole scene.
Yeah, and stuff like that. But it peaked in Double Team. Double Impact is worth a watch, though. It's not as good as it should be for being a 2 Van Dammes, one movie kind of situation. But still worth a watch. The ones that should have been good, they just weren't, is there's one where he goes to prison, which Sudden Death, I think is what it's called. And Cyborg. Both of those should have been great, and they just weren't. They weren't. I'd say Cyborg was better than Sudden Death.
Okay.
Because Sudden Death barely has any fighting in it. So.
But anyway, to close out this show, we're going with Your Heritage, the hot and sour soup.
Yeah.
I'm going with Italian wedding soup.
Italian wedding soup. All right, you're going to win. Mine's not a very popular soup, but it's one that's very near and dear to me personally. So, hot and sour soup. I urge all listeners to just go try hot and sour soup
Yeah.
before voting on the poll, because we all know you've had wedding soup.
Yeah.
I don't think you've had hot and sour, because most people just kind of see the wonton sitting right next to it.
And they're like,
Chinese
"Oh, I want
buffet.
that."
And they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna go for the fucking wonton." No, man, you're sleeping on that hot and sour right there.
Damn.
That's the fucking soup. And I don't like mushrooms either, and there's some mushrooms floating around in that
Yeah.
piece of shit. And I eat them.
I was gonna ask if you eat them or that you just leave them at the.
No, I eat it. I eat the whole shit.
All right.
That's how good that stuff is.
All right, man. Well, we will see. We will see, and we'll get back to you next week with the winner of this poll. I didn't know you were as passionate about soup as I was.
Dude, I love soup.
So this was a good.
I love soup, man. Batman and soup. Those
Yeah.
are two things. Hey, whoever tweeted that out, you tweeted out two things that I really fucking love.
Yeah.
So, Batman and soup.
Hell yeah.
Have you ever had like a Mexican torta soup and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that
Yeah.
stuff's great. Have you ever had like a buffalo chicken like chowder?
Yes. Yeah.
I used to get that at Walmart, like for my lunches. Like,
Okay.
I would get that
I
shit.
feel you.
We gotta stop talking about
Yes.
soup,
Yeah.
man. What is
For
this, a
another
3-hour podcast?
time, we can cut a whole podcast on different soups.
Next week, the soup episode.
And with that, I am Buddy the Bruiser signing off.
And I'm Buddy the Bruiser. I'm Dynamite Jared signing off.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.